Hello, my friends, my sisters and brothers. It's Eddie Marcus again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I want to say to all of those of you who hear my voice, don't panic. Everything is under control. And what do I mean? Everything is under control. There's a cleaning house taking place. All of the ugliness is being exposed, and set up for disposition. I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, as spokesman and advocate for basic human rights, that the number one concern that's happening in America today, whether you might think it's business and this and that, it is not. The number one concern, you, the people, your lives, your worth, your contribution, and our duty to one another, to provide for one another, to make sure that each of us have a life that's worthwhile. Tonight you got the National Guard positioning itself in various locations within the state, and the purpose is to try to keep down the destruction of property, the violence that might occur, and the possibility of additional deaths. Now, this calls for perhaps some extreme measures. We hate to see the military in our midst, and just as we hated to see the pandemic. But there are a lot of things going on in our country today. All these masks, people laid off. All of this is a calling for a reckoning. And so this, my friends, I want you to know is that this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to be excited. And I want you to know that where I'm coming from and calling for each of you to protest as often as you want. I know sometimes when you think about not doing violence, when you think about not causing a riot, you think you're going to totally be ignored because that's the way it's always been. Well, this is a different time. This is something different, ladies and gentlemen. Can't you feel it in the air? Can't you just feel the spirit of it generating across all you people who are genuinely sincere about the conditions and doing something about it? You see, what is happening now is requiring America to do something, and it will never be done unless you, the people, can acknowledge that it's going to require you. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to do something, do that which is good for all of us. Why do something that you don't want done to yourself? Do that which is good for you. Make sure that whatever you do for others are good for them. And the easiest way to do it, ladies and gentlemen, is to be fair. I realize that when you start talking about rearranging things, making some adjustments, you panic because you only know of the way that you've been exposed to. Many of you have been exposed to the only way that you might have a home is because the military, the soldiers got on their horses and went and killed and murdered and slaughtered the natives and took land so that you could have a place to stay. Well, if you talk to the natives, they will have a different story. But that's the way it ended up. They took, murdered, and slaughtered to take some land so you can have a place to stay. And today you feel that perhaps if people are not ready to kill and protect this land that was stolen in the beginning for you, that you might lose it. But times have changed, ladies and gentlemen. We used to have horse and buggy. We used to have oxen. But right now we got cars, we got jets, we got space machines, we got toys taking care of your business. Now, if we can advance that way, we can advance in the human way. And I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, let's be real about it. What is it that's common amongst human beings? Every last one of them needed to survive. Food, clothing, and shelter. Every last one of you need food, clothing, and shelter. Every human being on the face of the earth, I don't care what corner you live in, you need food, clothing, and shelter. That's common. Every human being on the face of the earth could benefit, perhaps, from education. Education that will prepare them to be better at whatever it is that they love doing, that gives them their greatest joy when they're doing it. And as a result, the people, the population benefits out of this world. So education is very pertinent. And if you're sick, who amongst you sick can't go to the doctor for what reason or another? No, everybody on the face of the earth wants that available to them. If they pray and God don't heal them right there, they still want to go to the doctor. So everybody on the face of earth have these basic common needs. Is that right? That is right. Now, why is that? It is because you were made by the same power who wanted to make all of you susceptible to the same things, life and death. And so for life, you require these certain things in order for that to happen. Now, my friends, in order for those needs to be met, you want to do it in such a way that it will produce what? Right along with it, peace and prosperity and freedom from all that would bind you. Give you joy and your dreams fulfilled. This is what you want out of the steps that you make to fulfill your life. Out of this, you don't want lies and cheating and stealing and killing, and you won't have any need for it. You don't want hatred and racism and bigotry. You won't have any need for it. You won't have need for terrorism or war. Not under these basic principles, because, ladies and gentlemen, these principles were not set up by me. These principles were not set up by white folks or black people or Americans or Russians or Asians. This program was set up by a spirit that you cannot see. The same spirit that created this earth and put all the resources in it and put us here and qualified us to do everything we need to do to make sure we can live as if in heaven. And if we choose not to do it, we can live as if we're in hell. And right now we've chosen to live as if we are in hell, and here we are right now dead in that rabbit hole headed to hell. But we are given an opportunity at this moment to recognize it's all being put before us. The choice is ours. We can turn around and do what I've just shared with you. In other words, you're living. God has put us here, and we're living one for the other. And in so doing, we just live. And out of that, we create everything that we have continuously, and more of it, and more things. Clean up the infrastructure, clean up our towns, clean up our cities, make medicine, really deal with the concerns that we have as people, and not anything about making money, because money does not exist amongst God's people. That is evil's people who try to split you up, lie to you, deceive you, use Ponzi schemes, and you know what I'm saying. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to don't panic. You see, all of this is in motion. You see, right now, the Republicans can't come to you and say anything about what their values are. It doesn't mean a damn thing. And if the Democrats coming to you trying to talk soft because right now they are not under the spotlight that like the Republicans, don't play that bull. You know one thing about it. You've lived your life, and the things I've just got through explaining to you, you've never even heard before. You've never heard a politician talk about it before in its real sense. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not just talking. I've been doing this for 36 years, and people have said that I care more about you than you care about yourselves. Perhaps that is true, because everything that I'm telling you, I can back up. I can prove it if we just try it. And I'm so confident of that. I've committed crimes several times against this state, just to let you know at a moment like this, when you question if I'm a fake person, just like Donald Trump. If you try to ask yourself if I'm fake, like Joe Biden or any of these other people running for politicians that have never expressed dreams and with an ambition of doing all of these things for all of the people with a plan, not to just be saying it, because the system that we have set up today will not permit it. And if they want to tell you the truth, that's the first thing they got to tell you. And if you want to accomplish the things I'm sharing with you, you got to change the system to accommodate this. I'm talking about a divine system where things here on earth can be done just if they are in heaven, where you can laugh every day, go out and party. Yes, you can go out and party. And you know what? You can drink wine, you can listen to music, you can dance, and you can fly. You can do all things except treat people bad. Treat people like you don't want to be treated. Cause pain and suffering. God ain't going for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't panic. When you go to the election, when you go to the polls at the election November the 3rd, no, you're not going to vote for Donald Trump. No way. That devil is over. The Democratic Party, they're not as bad as Donald Trump and the Republican Party has shown, but they are nonetheless just as bad. They're just as bad. All of this pain and suffering and killing of black people, it's been going on all the time. It just started, and the Democrats haven't done anything about it. So the thing is going to be done about it. It won't be the Republicans. It won't be Democrats. It'll be you and I, we the people. We're going to fix this mess by the power of righteousness, and I'm begging you, don't panic, but stand down. And between now and then, let us talk amongst one another and see, and let us dream together. Because when you go to those polls, you're not going to vote for those guys. You're going to go up there and write in your name. And writing in all of your names will say to this system, say to this state, say to this nation, that we're tired of the old and we're bringing in the new. And ladies and gentlemen, between that time, we will understand exactly what the new means. Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.